How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What's going on, everybody? Marco here from 14P, and I am excited to bring you my Dynasty buy lows for Week 11 in the 2021 season. But before we jump into anything, I want to make sure that you guys are aware of our giveaway. We have a jersey giveaway, 2 jersey giveaways we're doing. So what you need to do to enter is subscribe to the 14 Personnel YouTube channel where you're watching this right now. If you're already subscribed, that's okay. You can just take a screenshot showing that you're subscribed and then DM that screenshot to us at 14P_fantasy on Twitter. And the winner will be announced on November 29th. So in a few weeks. So we've got a signed DeAndre Swift jersey. We've got a signed Lamar Jackson jersey. They are sick. So you're going to want to win these. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below, or you can find me on Twitter at Marco_14P. Or you can obviously send questions to at 14P_fantasy. All right, so let's jump into some Dynasty buy lows. There's 2 that I want to kick off that we don't really have any overlays for or anything like that. I just want to mention them. The first one is buy right now 2022 second-round picks. They are basically being given away by contenders right now. And sure, a contender's second-round pick might not be the most valuable, but once you get to the draft, second-round picks values skyrocket. You know, you can trade second-round picks in the draft once the rookie draft is happening for a ton of value for people who really are surprised that a person falls or a player ends up in a landing spot that they weren't expecting, and they think they might be a steal. And I'm okay selling those picks once you're in the draft, but right now, go buy those picks. The second thing is go look for contenders who have J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, Travis Etienne, Robert Woods, if you're close to contending in the next year or so. I think injured players or players who are out right now, Calvin Ridley, who are out right now for, other reasons, those are players that you can buy from contenders right now for cheap because they want to win right now. They want to fight to get that championship, and you can give up pieces that can maybe help them who maybe won't help you in the next year or next couple years. So I think those are the first 2 to start. Now let's jump into players. Here's who we want to buy low. The first is the Chicago Bears tight end, Cole Kmet. He is starting to kind of be the guy there right now. In the last 3 weeks, he's averaging a 24.3% target share for the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields looks like he's starting to take a step. There might be some inconsistencies this year, but you don't care about this year, most likely. You're doing dynasty buy low, so you're kind of focusing on the future here. And I think Cole Kmet could have an enormous breakout in his 3rd year in the NFL with Justin Fields in his 2nd year in the NFL. So buy Cole Kmet now because he hasn't done a ton, and I think he could end the season really, really well for the Bears and for fantasy. All right, the next guy is Tee Higgins. Now, this is a guy you might have to pay a little bit more for, but I'm okay doing it because Jamar Chase is obviously the number 1 wide receiver there. But Tee Higgins is the 1B for sure. Jamar Chase is seeing a lot of the red zone opportunity. You know, he is kind of the guy scoring all the touchdowns right now. But Tee Higgins is the target monster. Right now, I don't think that that's going to be a big change for this offense going into next season and beyond. So I'm buying Tee Higgins right now because people are kind of a little bit lower on him, and they really shouldn't be. His target volume is there. He is a very good NFL player, and he's going into another year with Joe Burrow. He's basically tied with Joe Burrow for most of his career. So you want to go ahead and buy guys, offenses, you can trust the quarterback, and you can trust that the offenses are going to be throwing the ball a ton. And that's what this Bengals team is doing. So Tee Higgins, I think, is a phenomenal buy in Dynasty if you can get him at a decent price. He's not a super low buy, but he's low enough where I think he's still worth the price. All right, Brandon Aiyuk, and I'm going to move over a little bit more because he's got his hands out here in the overlay. But Brandon Aiyuk is one of those guys who has really started to come out a little bit, but he's really not seeing enough target opportunity to be anything special in fantasy, probably for the rest of the season at least. And next season, he's going to probably get Trey Lance, maybe some Jimmy G, but he'll probably get Trey Lance. And while there might be some hiccups or bumps in the road with Trey Lance as he learns the NFL game, Brandon Aiyuk is still going to be a phenomenal wide receiver. He might not be that top 12 wide receiver people were hoping for this last offseason, but I think he's squarely in the wide receiver 2 conversation after this season. For whatever reason, he's where he is on this team's target depth chart. I think he's going to climb that. You're starting to slowly see that. And right now it might be inconsistent, but I think next season he could be a really nice piece for your fantasy teams. And you can get him for cheap right now because Deebo Samuel is the guy there. All right. Finally, Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney has seen a solid volume in PPR leagues. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been special. And similar to Cole Kmet, I think Darnell Mooney is going to be a huge benefactor of Justin Fields getting another season under his belt. And so I think next season, Darnell Mooney is going to have his true breakout year. Who knows what's going to happen with Allen Robinson? He's probably not going to be here for the long term. But I was saying this all offseason. Darnell Mooney's big breakout year wasn't going to be this year. He's going to have some nice flashes next year when Justin Fields is no longer a rookie. That is going to be his breakout season. Who knows what they do at head coach? Obviously, who knows what they do with the second wide receiver or the first wide receiver, depending what happens with Allen Robinson. But Darnell Mooney has got nice chemistry with Justin Fields, and I think he could keep that up going into the rest of this season and beyond. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts about my Dynasty buy lows below in the comments, or you can always find me on Twitter at Marco_14P. And don't forget, if you're subscribed, send a DM to at 14P_fantasy to win a chance or get a chance to win a DeAndre Swift signed jersey or a Lamar Jackson signed jersey. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.